Okay, test one, test two. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, looks like we're live. Today, I want to talk about something that is weighing on my mind. I often talk about people being poor. Why do I do that? Because I used to be extremely poor. I know what it's like not to have anything. I know it's like not to be able to eat what you want to eat. I know what it's like not to have clothes. I know what that feels like. And over the last 10 years, I've done things. I've helped out a lot of people. I'm proud of that. Many people have started businesses. Many people have started YouTube channels. And that's a good thing to do. What I think people who are really distractors, dissenters, because I built a business being myself, which means I can share my viewpoints. I can say what I want to say. I can be myself, and it doesn't hurt my money. I posted some things to talking about the fake ass tax cuts yesterday, and people have been coming at me like, I never seen a businessman hate Trump so much. Well, you good. Why are you worried about other people? Based upon what I have done for almost the last decade, I've always cared about other people. I've done stuff to help people. I gave courses away for free. But for some reason, to the perpetually ignorant, that doesn't seem to carry through. Some of the most prominent businessmen don't like Trump, and I'm talking about billionaires. So part of this is we're all in this together. Hence, I do a lot of posting of crime. Crime in my area is going up. It's not going down. It's not stabilizing. It's going up. Then there's a few homeless people around. Then the people can't afford housing. Housing prices are going down. And then I see these fake numbers of low unemployment, but no wage appreciation. I see all of this so-called economic gains. If you own stocks, yeah. If you own a house, yeah. If you don't own one of those things or you don't make enough income to invest in those two things, not necessarily is your economic outcome doing that really that great. Part of the issue is if you want to make some money, you need to be a leader and producer. Leaders don't just think about themselves. When you have someone who thinks about themselves, they usually become a dictator. Leaders are like JFK. Leaders are like Teddy Roosevelt. Leaders are like Lyndon B. Johnson. You just have so many examples of people who were leaders, who cared about people, who just happened to be extremely well heeled. I don't think that you can be well off and then hate poor people. And then there's also this conversation with capitalism is the reason that people are poor, that there's this exploitation. And I look at that and I was like, okay, every business that I've had helped people solve the problem. I gave them products, services, they gave me money. Some of these people I've actually run into again, and there was no love lost. There was like, oh God, he got over on me. Say, hey, how you doing? So the capitalism that I practice is not one that is harmful, not one that robs people, not one that sets people up. I don't know if anyone else is practicing a different form of capitalism. I think capitalism gets a bad name because people don't want to be responsible for themselves. People want, I had this conversation with a client and he said it beautifully. They want to live their life on your job, live their dreams, have their schedule they want, but you are responsible for paying these people whether they perform at a high level or not. And that was something that I had to shake myself out of many, many, many years ago. it was something that was very true, and it's something that you see frequently, that people do not want to be responsible for self. Just don't want it. And then there's this crazy notion that if you're well off, rich, whatever you have, that somehow you screwed a lot of people. Whenever someone comes at me with these attitudes like, you good, why are you worried about anyone else? I have this to say. Why are you worried about who Kim K is having sex with? Why are you worried about where this 5-star draft pick's going to go? Why are you worried about this person not getting an Oscar? And every twist and turn, I can show you examples in your life that you're necessarily worried, concerned about someone else's life. But when it comes to this money thing, Glendon Cameron, shut up. You good. You should be happy for the tax cuts and stuff. And with that, I said this in 2009. I don't care who's president. I don't care which party's in office. None of it matters to me. I'm still going to get my money. I'm still going to set up tax structures, tax shelters. This is why you see billionaires saying, yeah, we need to raise taxes, because they know that their stuff is set. It's like, you'll get more people. You won't get me. It doesn't matter who's in office. I didn't need tax cuts to be profitable. I didn't need them at all. I didn't need tax cuts to get me over the edge, because I'm a competitor. I'm a leader and I'm a producer. I will make my way in any environment. This business was started during the last recession. That should speak to something. Part of it, and I know many of the comments are based upon, I am hitting their favorite toy. I am attacking their belief system. See, Trump is just a symbol. People who support him, it is their views, their opinions that I'm attacking, and that's why they come after me so hard. And that's why they keep like, shut up, don't talk about it, you should be good, you're a businessman. There are many, many ethical businessmen. There are many men who have made billions doing things the right way, caring about people, setting up stuff. There was this one guy, he used his Spark credit card and he used the cash back to provide health benefits for his employees. You don't hear about these stories because people don't really get a shine to businessmen who are doing the right thing, making money, and not screwing people. Once again, I don't understand how I do understand it was the Electoral College, but someone who, and I'm going to go into my big problem with Trump, and it was long before he even got in office. Anything that he's doing is not surprising because I don't believe he has any character. Anyone can get divorced and anyone can have one bankruptcy. It can happen. You could be in an accident, your spouse divorces you, your medical bills pushes you into bankruptcy. That happens to good people every day. But when someone finds themselves in similar situations over and over and over and over, it is not the situation, it is the person and it's the character of the person. And many people's like, I didn't want my president to be divorced. You know why? If a man cannot make a commitment to a woman, how can he make a commitment to the country? I didn't want my president to be a filer of multiple bankruptcies. If he can't manage his own finances, how can he manage the finances of the government? Simple, I thought, but for some reason, people just like, that doesn't matter. I like him. I don't care if he cook crack on the stovetop. I like him. And now, many of the people who voted for this fool are catching economic hell, and they're still defending him. It is hitting people in their paycheck. It's hitting them in their wallet, and they're still defending him. And at this point, and we'll lose people, I don't really care, because I'm getting ready to reformat the channel anyway, that white people, because this is who's really supporting him. There are some black folks supporting him, but white people have put their own ethnic agency against economic common sense. There, I said it. That's the only thing that can explain this, because there's facts, there's proof, there's numbers. But for some reason, so that's why I see it. And being a leader, living in truth, you have to accept the truth for what it is, regardless of where the truth may take you. And once again, for like this is the 10th year, I've run my business to make me happy. If you don't like the way that I talk, if you don't like the content I put out, if you don't like the live streams where I talk about politics, life events, fine, cool. Find someone else. I have haters who have bought products and experienced economic benefit. Let me say this again. I have haters who have bought my products and have experienced economic benefit, but they get mad when I talk about this fool. There's a conversation going on my Facebook page about this. Like, I bought your products. One of the reasons I made more money last year is because of your products. But hey, stop talking about Trump. If you're one of my Facebook friends, you go. It's the last post. Go check it out. When I almost died, I came up to a new way of living. After I was healing up, and I was like, you know what? This is my second chance on life. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to say things I want to say. Long time ago, I used to have these thoughts, and I used to have these predictions, and I would never tell anybody. And then it would happen, and I'm like, damn, I can't say anything because it looks like I'm Monday morning quarterback. But if I had the courage to say it when I thought it, we say Bitcoin? You saw what happened to me. People attacked me, questioned my intellect, talked about me like a dog, said, you don't know anything, man. You don't know how to make any money. If you knew how to make any money, you'd be all on this Bitcoin. You'd be short, and you'd be doing all this stuff. And I said, Bitcoin's no good, and Bitcoin's going to go down. I can talk cash shit on my page, and not one of them will bring their wrangly mouth up and post on my page, because the truth is so abundant that they look like a fool. They look like a fool. I got a lot of people who's like talking, because I was right. Not once, not twice, not 2 times, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5. I was right 6 times on the Bitcoin thing. We'll soon see if I'm right on the 7th. And let's talk about this. You had people who suddenly became economic, financial experts based on a pseudo, I will call cryptocurrency a pseudo asset, because it doesn't have a long-term track record. And forget that I've built businesses from scratch. Forget that I grew up in poverty and transcended. Now, I don't mean nothing. Glenn, I'm telling you, you need to get on this Bitcoin thing. Like, dude, remember that video I did in 2012 where I introduced you to Bitcoin? Oh, no, it was me. Do you remember the video when I said I had bought some Bitcoin and urged other people to buy Bitcoin a long time ago? No, man, no. Yeah, it was me. I even tried to take Bitcoin for products, but enough people just weren't interested in it, and it wasn't economically viable. So I got these people who don't have no money, don't make any money, don't know how to make money, talking to me as if we're peers, but they ain't no results in their life. They're not even married to the chick they want to be married to. But for some reason, because of social media and everyone has a voice, they think all voices are equal. I'm here to tell you they're not. There are people with educated, informed opinions that are very good, and there are people who are caught up in their feelings talking as if those things are facts. When I said the tax cuts will harm people, I came with facts. This was not my opinion. These were facts. I could go to the Google machine and pull up article after article. It's like, look, due to this and your classification, your taxes are going up. Your taxes are going up. The financial trickeration. And people just, I don't want the truth. What was that? What was that line in A Few Good Men? You can't handle the truth or something. What Jack Nicholson said, and that's where I think a lot of people are. One of the things that I think about a lot as we go down this financial road is you can't save everybody. And that was very disheartening for me for a long, long time. You cannot want someone's success more than they want it. And you got people out here who, if you're not 100% aligned in their belief system, even if you're 90%, but that 10% differential, they're going to throw out the whole baby and the bathwater because they can't handle differences of opinion. I leave people unless they get disrespectful and start cussing out and wanting to get into physical altercations. Like, well, if you saw me in person, if you saw me in person, you would run. I'm a lot bigger than you think I am. This is what people are doing. And when we get to that level, I'm going to block you, delete you, and move on because you're beyond silly. But most of them, I just leave them as friends so I can watch their lives disintegrate. Because one of the things I do is I don't listen to what you say. I care less about what you say. I look at how you live day to day. I look at what you talk about. I look at how your kids are doing. I look at the house you live in. I look at your furniture. I look at your car. Because see, once again, there are people who are multi-millionaires, millions of dollars in the cash in the bank, and they drive a Prius. But they live in a house on the beach and their kids go to private school. Everybody don't need a car. But if you got a family, you ain't going to spend your money on your family. I just don't see that if you had it like that. It's very, very interesting. I mean, I look at these people and I feel sorry for them because their opinions are more sacred to them than their financial and physical well-being. They rather be right than healthy. They rather be right than correct. It's amazing. And I see all kinds of stuff that's happening because what's going to, this next thing that's coming, you got to understand, it's just not going to be the raising of jobs and it's going to be the contraction. With technology, each contraction produces more efficiency because companies that want to stay in business, they have no choice but to become more efficient, to do more with less, to pull, to crank out more yields. That's just the way it is. And we as Americans, we love low prices. If you told someone, hey, Hank in Kokomo, Indiana, can start making $45 per hour working in this meat packaging plant if you would pay $50 for one steak. And you going like, I'm not paying $50 for one steak. If it ain't $7 to $12, I ain't gonna have it, player. And that's why the economic wage hasn't gone up. The living wage hasn't gone up because people like low prices. You can't have low prices and high wages. You can't. During the greatest economic expansion, which was after World War II up into the 60s, and a lot of it happened in Detroit, a guy could leave Alabama, graduate high school, not even graduate high school, go work in a Ford plant, a Chevy plant, and within a year or two be making enough money to marry a woman, buy a house, and have a family. This happened to millions and millions and millions of men. The GI Bill got people through college. So that 1944, 50, that 25-year period was the greatest economic expansion in American history. It changed people's classes. It changed people's futures. It took common everyday folk and turned them into solid middle-class citizens. For those who study history and know this, know that, once again, get ready. I'm about to bash your boy. Trump was lying. Those who know history know he was lying. And it's just the strangest thing how it's almost like the Matrix. Remember that scene where the guy that turned him in was sitting with the two agents and he says, I know this steak isn't real, but I don't care. And I think that's where a lot of people are. They know that the lies are lies, but they just don't care because of this great white hope. Enjoy, because he's the last one. It's over after this one. I'm already thinking of what's going to happen to the political landscape after he's gone, because there's a lot of people looking and they're seeing that being brash, racist, it works with you white people. If you act racist, you say racist things, it gets white votes. That's unconscionable, but that's the evidence we have. And we as a country are moving forward, but that's a big, big problem. And once again, when you live with the truth, as ugly as the truth may be, that's how you can make some money, because you're seeing the world the way that it really is. Let's say Trump's not a racist. He plays one on television. He plays one very well on television. All these Klan groups, these white supremacists, these national, they're like, don't know. Why is that? But he ain't racist. Anywho, let me see what's up in these comments. I'm in the mood. What's up, people? I am looking for questions. What's up, Troy Jackson? What's up, Derek Bailey? African King. They don't want to give us the pleasure of saying we told you. I see a lot of that. I'm going to agree with that, because I get attacked by people that I help put money in their pocket because I don't believe with their political beliefs. But I'm told because I'm doing economically well that I should be thankful for the tax cuts. It's very ironic. What's up, Garan? What's up, Marie? What's up, Ronnie Wilson? All right, Garan, sell that copy. What's up, Crep Junkie TV? What's up, Donald? What's up, Lavore? African King. Most of us that have any degree of financial and business success have been taught through experience. Absolutely. What's up, Stefan? Eyes of Chaos. Factoids, I like that. Yeah, AI. And this is what people don't really see, because I got a video coming up. It's called Everyone's a Financial Freelancer. If you look at what's happening to employment, there's a lot of people working from home. More people than ever at any point in history are working from home. That trend is going to catch fire, except for the larger, bigger companies that are structured. But it's going to be free agent nation. What's up, Unreasonable Man? All right, Maxine, make that money. Unreasonable Man. Facts. Individual only take the individual so far. Yeah, because the thing is, like, I actually look at some of the stuff that I put out, because I give away a lot of stuff for free, and I really don't care, because I believe in the principle of abundance. If you have abundance and if you're living abundant, you're not going to sweat some small stuff. This is why I have a problem with the fanatically frugal people, because they're not living an abundance lifestyle. They're living a scarcity mindset, and scarcity will chase abundance away. And I will tell you a story. One time I had someone who stole passages from my book and put it on their website verbatim. I'm like, what? You know, I got really angry, and I noticed something that started to happen. And it actually happened. I refused to put out any more content. I have so many storage auction stories I never told, because when I found out that the shows were watching my channel, and they were taking my stories and writing scripts that were just different enough for the shows. And I was like, oh, I'm never telling another storage auction story again. Let's see what you work with that. And I just stopped watching the show. I have not watched an episode of any of those shows in 5 or 6 years. And I was just like so pissed. I was just so angry. And I realized that, all right, you're going to have to get out of this because now you're starting to shut down. You're now not producing as much as you can. You are actually allowing them to rob you twice. So I went in another direction. But when someone takes something of yours, it gets real personal. You start going off. You just like, now it happens. It still happens. But I have a different opinion because when someone takes my stuff and they use it, I have to put my signature on it. Like everyone knows who Casey Neistat is. He had such a way of creating vlogs. Everyone started copying him, but you knew that it came from Casey because of his uniqueness. And I said, that's what I got to do. I got to make my stuff so unique, so Glendon Cameron's signature on it that if someone steals it, people are like, oh, but you got that from Glendon. That's what the thing is upon me. That's what I have to do. And that's what I started doing, and it worked out very well. Oh, Stefan, it's already happening. Google Duplex. That's AI, baby. It's scary. When that comes on full online, let's say the next 5 or 7 years, you will see a lot of telemarketing jobs gone. Ronnie Wilson, just publish your book. Once you publish your book and go through the experience, that's going to give you the experience to push your book. You got to put some skin in the game. Asians make money, man. Asians have, that's a good thing. Asians are producers. This is why China is literally about to rule the world. China has money because they produce stuff, they sell stuff. This raises their GDP. They have these dollars. You've got Chinese going to Los Angeles, Vancouver with suitcases full of cash, buying property, pushing the property prices up to infinity. That's how you get money. What's up, Ezekiel? Thank you. Gardner Brown, have you ever thought of moving any of your companies offshore for tax reasons? Nope. When you start talking offshore accounts, you're talking big boy money. You're talking 10, 15, 20 million. See, the way the tax code is written, that if you own a business, you can literally get away without paying any federal taxes legally. So there's no need for that. What's up, Ebony Empire? How did I help you, Lewis? That's interesting. Crep Junkie TD, we had that with our other channel rather than work with us. Most of the big brands in the UK just hijacked our content. They will steal, man. They will steal. Yes, it is, Donald. And this is something else, too, that happens in today's world. It seems that because it's online, it's not real. It's a very interesting thing because I think that the online world is going to become more real than the physical world. It's just a matter of time. And that's why I've always treated it very seriously. That's why I did not come on YouTube doing YouTube stuff, because if you've noticed what's going on with the YouTube sphere, a lot of channels are in trouble. Many channels have had their income reduced, 85, 90%. And everyone's going to have a viable business to do YouTube, because just like Amazon is getting to the point where if you don't have 50K, you're just not going to be able to start an Amazon FBA business. I don't care what anyone says. You can miss me with that. I've know people, I've had clients, I've seen the numbers, I know where they're going. YouTube's becoming the same thing. YouTube used to be, you had a cell phone, you were funny, you can get put on. Now, not so much. And I can tell by my AdSense earnings that these new standards, which I think they're going to increase at some point in the future, if you don't have X amount of views, you don't have X amount of subscribers, you cannot get paid. That has literally quadrupled my AdSense. because, I was like, this is kind of crazy that it went up, because my views have gone down. My views have gone down, but my AdSense has gone up. But to start a YouTube channel without a proper business structure, without a good game plan to make money, is going to be very hard, I would say, in the next 7 years. We're getting there. You see rumors and you see trimmers and all this other stuff, but it's going to be drastically hard in 7 years. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to start now. Tim A, Google Duplex is going to increase the number of scams. Absolutely. Google Duplex is robocalls on fire, on steroids. Anthony Johnson, I'm thinking about buying municipal bonds. Any thoughts? Once again, do you have enough money to get enough bonds to make an economic impact? Because one of the things we're going to do in investing yourself and talking about investing is, many people are like, I have X amount of dollars in my 401k. I'm dollar costing averaging this. You can have someone, and the rules of compounding interest is good, but how many people have enough money to start investing at 20 something when you're making $32K a year? If you're living at home, okay, you don't have a car note, okay, you're going to see people living a very interesting life in the future. Ronnie Wilson, maybe someone needs to make another YouTube. People are trying. See, the thing with YouTube is, to host all of these videos is outrageously expensive. So if someone's going to make another YouTube, they're going to have the money to host these videos and promote the channel for years before they make any money. That's the barrier. It's like, hey, go ahead and build some code, put together a site. That's easy. Then you got to get the advertisers, and that's the big barrier. All right, Lewis, you helped me by showing me where I can make my t-shirts. Awesome. Steven Johnson, what's the best way to invest in commercial real estate? Have a business. Because once again, like I talked about yesterday, if someone tells you something, take a sheet of paper, pretend that this is a pen, and you do the numbers. And you do the numbers 6, 7 times, and those numbers are not going to lie to you. Maybe if your math is off, but if your math is on point, those numbers are not going to lie to you. I've had person after person tell me that the stock market is a better investment than real estate. And I was like, okay, let's look at real estate. Let's look at the stock market. You can make a lot of money with both, but how do you get into the stock market and make money? You can make money very fast in the stock market as a trader, or you can make money very slowly as a buy and hold investor. But if you are a person who can do both, trade some, buy and hold, because see, the trading will get you the money to buy larger blocks of stock for your buy and hold. And this is something that you just don't hear people talking about. It's like, get this stock, get this stock. I am amazed at the number of people on YouTube, Facebook, who are giving stock advice, have no evidence of any material wealth. Not a lick. Because there's one cat, and I'm not mentioning names because I don't want no B2 booth, the YouTube beefs. I found, because he hit it, but I found his wife's Facebook page, and it just don't add up, because the wife, they got 3 kids and the wife works. So maybe he's a full-time YouTuber, so maybe he's watching the kids. I don't know. But based upon what I found out from that little search, he's living a little bit better than average. And I've just seen it. And the thing is, like, people say, hey, go ahead and short a stock. Do you know that if you short a stock, you have to buy the stock if you lose that bet? So shorting stocks can be very, very risky if you don't know what you're doing. Shorting Bitcoin, I think, would be just crazy. I think people have been playing games with it, but always know your numbers. Now, someone asked, how do you lead? A leader is a person who stands up and is like, let's go this way. That's it. A leader, you can have a boss who tells you what to do, but a leader is like, hey, this is where we're going. Follow me. That's it. Producers create stuff. They create content, they create videos, they create services, they create products. That's a very small part of our population of people who are leaders and producers. Very, very small in comparison to the whole one. Because I gave you the numbers. I mean, we got like 30 some, almost 40 some percent of the population not working, being supported by government programs and other people. And that number is going to grow. I'm wondering what's going to happen when we get to the point where 50% of the population in the United States, and that's 156 million people, about 156 million people, are not working. And don't say it can't happen, because when I heard the number that we have like 40 million people on SNAP, aka food stamps, 40 million people on food stamps. That was like, wow, blowing my mind. Anthony Johnson, I have a few grand extra in cash, man. I look at stocks and bonds as a savings account. Honestly, it's not like people you generally speak of. Once again, if you know what you're doing, you can make money with stocks. You can make money with these accounts. But the thing is, you only have so much money to work with. Let's say this girl, she was on Cosmopolitan, and she was able to save all this money because she was living at home. She only made, I think, 30, but she was able to save $50,000. She didn't have a car. She lived with her parents. If you are a self-actualized adult who has their own place, has a car, it gets really hard to do this stuff. And this is why, I talk to my young people, get started now. I know people going to say, go to school, get you an education. If you're 16, 17, and you have no clue to what you want to do, start a business. Even if it fails, you're so young that it just really can't hold you back. Do it for 2 years. It fails, you're 18. Start it now, because I've looked at the people who reached escape velocity. Some people reach escape velocity through a job, usually a very high-paying job. Some people reach escape velocity through inheritance, but someone's got to die. But the way that you can really reach escape velocity the fastest, in my opinion, is through business ownership and business founding. Let's see. How do you come up with prices for your products that you for sale? I mean, what's your thought pattern? I price stuff people can afford. I think my stuff is priceless, but everybody can't pay $10,000. Do my market research, because there is a pricing threshold for most people. Yeah, Vimeo did something really, really smart. Vimeo stopped trying to compete with YouTube and went off to, we're a space for creators. You can sell your videos. You could put anything up. There's porn on Vimeo, or almost porn. So you could put up these wild videos and put them on your website, and they just have a totally different business model. Anthony Johnson, also have cash and savings and a few checking accounts. I'm definitely secure. Been following your ways for a couple of years now. Awesome. Congratulations. I don't think there will be a socialist revolution, Gabran. You know why? That will require work. The people have talked about people will be marching. Remember Occupy Wall Street? How long did that last? Remember that movement? I just don't see it. I think people will steal first before they actually demand more money or something. And also, a movement like that is going to take money behind it. If you look at the civil rights movement, Dr. Martin Luther King, A.G. Gaston, all of these guys, they had money behind the movement from the people who had invested interest in the movement. I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter because the money doesn't come from the people who were impacted. When they had the Montgomery boycotts, the money came from the community. People carpooled. It was people were fighting and also spending money for their cause. Now you have like the Tea Party. They didn't organically have their money. Their money came from the Koch brothers. So these organizations, these movements were just pawns for rich folks. Lewis, I feel that most people in America think that food stamps and the government is a right and they don't have to work. There is something seriously amiss with today's work ethic. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it started, but it is clearly a problem. I saw this with the Dave Ramsey and the girls like, I want to retire at 40 so I don't have to work. I think this is just a wild ideal, so bear with me. I think because it is so easy to exist, and let's define exist as you have some place to stay, you have food, you're not balling out of control, but it's so easy to exist and coast in America. Many people have adopted that as the way they want to live. Because when I'm talking about purpose and having a reason to live, a lot of people don't really have a purpose and they're not really looking for one. That comment, like, I'm just cool chilling. Every time, here's a good example. Go to any neighborhood where the people are chilling, right? Go to a poor Hispanic neighborhood, go to a poor black neighborhood, go to a poor white neighborhood where there's high unemployment. People are just chilling, hanging out at the corner store, just sitting around talking. What do you see? Neighborhoods in shambles, trash everywhere, houses falling down, crime through the roof. They got all this time, but there's no personal pride. I grew up in the neighborhood. We were poor, but we were the prideful poor. People cut their lawns. People kept their house clean. People didn't have many clothes, but what they had, it was functional, it was service, and they went to church, they looked good. We don't have that kind of poor anymore, as we may have it in some immigrant neighborhoods, but we don't have that kind of poor. The people with the most time, the most freedom, who are sitting around doing anything, doing nothing, the neighborhoods look like a bomb went off in them. No one's saying like, hey, you know what? We got all this time. Let's put our coins together and let's go from house to house. Hey, Miss so-and-so, what we're going to do is we're going to fix your house. Then we're going to ask you for a little money. Then we're going to go over here to Mr. Johnson's house and we go and just, it ain't, that thought process ain't even, it don't even exist because everybody's looking out for themselves. Hence that attitude that people are trying to force on me. Because see, I'm clearly exhibited that I don't have that attitude. I've exhibited that I care about people, and it ain't just me, because I got to live in the world with you motherfuckers. This is the thing. Like, just because I live in a big house in a nice neighborhood, you think the criminal's going to be like, oh, that's Glendon's place. We ain't, oh, Glendon, he got all that video equipment. They will hit me harder than ever. They're like, I want. This is the world we live in. And as long as we continue to have these people, and Jesse Helms, I think he was a senator from South Carolina or North Carolina, he said, if we do not solve this problem of single parents in the black community, it is going to bleed over into the white community. And look what happened. It has bled over. No one's talking about single mothers outside the manosphere like they used to. Remember Ronald Reagan, George Bush, welfare queen, code for black. They don't talk about that anymore because they be talking about their constituents. Be talking about the folks who vote for them. They can't talk about them anymore. because it is bled over and on steroids. Stefan, I'm convinced if anyone wants to change or to keep their heads above water, they will have to work like they have three jobs. This is a person who cares about themselves and want more out of life. Yes. Mental poverty, man. I was getting 700. I was getting 700 brokes on Friday and broke by Monday. That's very common. That's very common, and it's a process of your environment. If let's say you're living like that and you get with a woman who's living like that, so y'all gonna be broke together. You gotta have a team that has the same goal in mind. Like the Patriots, we want to get to that end zone. You gotta have that kind of goal. Brawley Con, I believe in the 90s Cash Money made a video just running around balling. Money just to have it. Most people do not have direction, so they want to get money to show off to each other. I'm going to say that's true. How many of y'all remember this young man who killed his mother in Chicago because she had money and she wouldn't give him all the money he wanted? She gave him everything he wanted. She bought him a car and everything, but he killed her so he can stun on the gram and go to the mall and throw money up in the air. Going more to Brolycon's point that this young man took his mother's life so he can stunt. Just Google young man who killed his mother in Chicago. She was a hairdresser. And read that. That is crazy. Broken. A friend of mine, girlfriend broke up with him, apparently says electricians can't become ballers. It's a false image hip hop videos created. She broke up with him because he. I don't know if y'all have a Mr. Sparky. We have a Mr. Sparky here. I think they have like 50 vans. So there's 50 electricians out in Atlanta every day. Whoever owns that company is balling. Just saying. Lewis, I think it starts with the father or someone telling you that you respect to get your ass up and work for something you love. That used to be a common message for everybody in my group, in my peer group. I will agree with that. Fathers teach direction more than mothers. Typically, a kid needs his mother from 0 months to about 9, and they need their dads for the rest of their life. That's usually how that goes. Derek Bale, I remember that she had a couple of salons. Yeah, this is what people are doing. I call it being shiftless, aimless. That this man killed his mother to get her money so he could ball out and stunt. That mentality is just bewildering. Derek Bailey made it look like a home invasion. I know. Once again, this is why I feel that this retire early, don't do nothing, it's just a bad idea. Shout out to Sony Michelle. That's kind of funny. You had Sony Michelle and Ty Gurley on the opposite sides. Yep, Maxine. Anthony Johnson dude shot his girl because she wouldn't give him any bread. I mean, it was his mom. Did you hear about the TSA agent jumping off the land? No. I've been in deep research mode. It's kind of funny. But no, I just wanted to get some stuff off my mind because essentially you need to be a leader and you need to be a producer. And if you have it in your mind that you want to sit down and do nothing and be unproductive and you don't feel that you owe the world anything, that is just not the way to go, in my opinion. It's just not, because I can tell you from experience that the more that you give out the world, the more the world gives back to you. And a lot of people are like this, I ain't doing nothing. until you give me some money. And frequently, you have to do a lot before you get the money, and people just don't understand that. I've said on this channel many times, I'm feeling like the wave is kind of shifting because I'm hearing many people say things I've said years ago. Like I've said in many of these streams, if you want to get a certain type of job, you have no experience, find someone to say, look, I'll work for you for free. I just want to learn how to do this. And people are like, I ain't doing that. And I get that because you can't afford to do that, but why can't you afford to do that? People don't prepare for rainy days. When the sun is shining, the sun shines more than it rains. You should be stacking squirrels and nuts like a squirrel, not just in the fall, but year round. So that's the deal. All right. I'll see you guys later. There will be another stream or a video. I just wanted to talk about that because it was heavy on my mind. And it's amazing how many people are invested in this guy and he's doing harm to them. And they sticking with him. And it just perplexes me because I know of no one else in history that's been able to get away with this. No one else. I know, Ben, a lot of people just don't want to give up anything. Trending business. You must put the wood in the fireplace before you get the heat. That came from Earl Nightingale because he was talking about that. And you just have so many people out here who want to get a lot of something. And one thing before I go. Scam artist. If anyone tells you that you should be happy and comfortable because you good and other people don't, that's pretty much the beginnings of a scam artist. And what I mean by that is, I believe that the world has unlimited money. I think there's unlimited money. I think there's unlimited love. I think it's just unlimited. It's all around us, right? But if you're getting it good while other people are suffering, because this is why I bring it up, because I've been on both sides. I know what it feels like to have your power shut off. Anyone ever had that while you sitting up in the living room and then doop, lights go off, TV go off, you just sitting in the dark, and you just silent. Now that happened to me when I was living with someone. That never happened to me when I was married. We're just sitting there chilling and like, oh, I forgot to pay the electric bill. I'm like, how many months did you forget to pay? They don't just cut your power off after missing one bill. Usually it's 2 or 3. We're just sitting in the dark. It was crazy. What do you think about that, Jeff, Amazon splitting all that money? Jeff Bezos has built his own environment. Jeff Bezos has created a company that will make him and his fantastically wealthy. I think if he is set up things the way I think he did, I don't know. There's a lot of evidence coming out that he didn't. That he's getting sloppy now. It is what it is. If you want to do Amazon FBA and you've got the money, the skill sets, you can make some money. Ben the bartender. It's the ignorance of man. People would rather stick with a bad decision than to say they fucked up and moved on. I had a situation. I'm going to talk around it because this channel's not about this, but I had a situation where I was messing with someone many, many years ago, and I found out that she had her own rotation. No, there was no way you could deny it, because the thing is, I asked her, I was like, so what's going on with this and this and this? And she told me. Bam. Truth right here. Now, I could pretend, and I'll go ahead and say it. She was finer than frog's hair. And I was like, you know what? Let's just be friends. And she said, what do you mean? And I was going over there to smash. I was like, let's just be friends. I'll be your friend. You know, I'll come out, we'll hang out and stuff, but this other stuff, we ain't doing that no more. And I kept my word and hung out with her and everything and just watched how she destroyed her life. It was a fascinating case study in humanity. But I was confronted with the truth. I had the truth, and I had to make a decision. And I think I made a really good decision based upon some later stuff that happened. Broken, there's a lot of narcissists out there who just want to run over people to get money or a title. I never really thought about that. I got a friend who kind of gives me perspective, because when I don't understand some stuff, it's because that's just not my core humanity. That's just not how I'm built. So it's hard for me to understand why someone would do that. But looking at the statement and looking at what you're saying, that's very valid, because you see some crazy stuff. The world is not a zero-sum game. Essentially, once again, going back to the abundance mentality, I don't have to put you down to get money. I don't have to rob you to get money. I don't have to outwork you to get money. I just don't. And that whole thing, because I haven't really competed with anybody since the storage auction days. And there was competition because it was like big bank beat little bank. But I've been working on myself. I've been competing against myself. It's a very interesting concept, because some people do get off on hurting other people. Some people do get off on belittling other people. Like one of my social media policies, I'm just deleting comments. I'm not even getting into it with these people, because if you come to this channel and I put up a 40 or 50-minute video and you want to comment on 30 seconds and ignore the whole 50 minutes and 30 other seconds, you boo-boo the fool. You just want some attention. Like I'm telling y'all, man, it is crazy. I have developed these crazy profiles that I can predict with stunning accuracy based upon what they post on that page, based upon what's on their YouTube channel or Facebook page, what they're going to say next. It's really interesting how tribes of people have similar behavior based upon their social indoctrination in the world. It is just funny. Steven Johnson, I don't do any multi-level marketing. I don't know anything about it. I don't have a comment one way or another, because one thing I will not do is speak on things I'm uneducated about. I don't like the concept personally of multi-level marketing, but I don't know what multi-level marketing is doing, because the last time I was in contact with multi-level marketing was 25 years ago. And I'm quite sure it's changed. It's just not something I want to do. I believe in producing stuff, creating stuff, because when you get into the producing mode, the creator mode, the leader mode, your life will change, because when you produce, like take China. China as a nation has this national policy of world domination. They do. And they've figured out that if we can produce everything the world needs, we will own them. Do you know that many of our medicines and ingredients for medicines come from China? And if we were to have a serious health crisis and China wanted to be a dick about it and like, oh, we cannot ship you this stuff, we would have people who would die. That's how dependent that we've become on China. But on the flip side, China has become very dependent upon us and the rest of the world, because now they've become a producer nation, but they don't have the culture, the artistic culture. Like, I don't know if you ever had a chance, go to Japan and look at the artistry of Japan, and then go to China and look at the lack of artistry there. Chinese people as a whole don't have the freedom to be creative, so they're indoctrinated in a very much hive type mentality that is starting to catch up with them, and it's starting to hurt them, because right now they balling out of control. But if they don't get the creative, the innovative thing, they're going to be in trouble in 30 years. All right. I will see you guys soon. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for this little AM hustle chat. I'll catch you guys